good. Get started.
All right. So my name is Sarah Gatos. I'm an editor at IDW Publishing, and welcome to our IDW Kids panel this morning. Thank you guys all for being here. I would just like to go down the line and have each panelist introduce themselves and say a little bit about what they're working on.
Yeah. I'm Carlos Guzman. I'm also an editor at IDW. I work on Transformers. I work on G.I. Joe. I work on Samurai Jack. A lot of fun stuff.
Super Secret Crisis War.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. Yeah. I'm Eric Burnham, and I don't want to interrupt him. He's upset. No, that's okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah. Let you finish. Go ahead.
Do you want a comic, sweetie? Would that make you happy?
Yes. Awesome. And look, there's Bobby. There's Bobby, whose chair I just stole. Anyway, I'm Eric Burnham, and I wrote the Johnny Bravo Super Secret Crisis War, and then some Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtle comics.
Yay.
And I'm going to steal this.
Do it, Andy.
I'm Andy Price, and I work on the MLP comics, My Little Pony mainline, and Friends Forever.
My name is Katie Cook, and I write for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I wrote the Return of Chrysalis arc, the Shining Armor Cadence arc, the Big Mac arc, the Reflections arc, the Rarity Micro, the Luna Micro, the upcoming Rarity Applejack, Friends Forever issue, and some other stuff that I've already turned in. And that's a lot of ponies.
Woo.
I'm Tony Fleece. I draw My Little Pony comics and comic book covers. Okay, I'm gonna keep this over here. Louise Simonson just gave me her microphone, y'all. That's cool.
Pretty awesome.
I drew the Rainbow Dash micro series issue and the Fluttershy and the Equestria girls where they're teenage girls instead of horses. And I drew Discord and the Cutie Mark Crusaders and Fluttershy and Zakora comic. And just this Wednesday I drew Pinkie Pie hanging out with Princess Luna. It was wonderful. That's it. Hello.
Hi, I'm Louise Simonson, and I'm actually new to IDW, although I've been doing comics since the dawn of time. And I was doing Super Secret Crisis War is what I'm doing with this guy, Derek Charm, who's such a wonderful artist that I'm going to hand the microphone to him and let him talk.
I'm Derek Charm. I'm drawing, like she said, Super Secret Crisis War, Cartoon Network crossover. And I've done some Powerpuff Girls stuff in the past as well.
Thank you guys so much for being here. So let's jump right in. Oh, forgot. There we are. So the first book we're going to talk about is Super Secret Crisis War. And this is a book where we're combining some of your favorite heroes and villains from the Cartoon Network of old, including Ben 10, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter, Sam Jack, and strangely enough, Ed, and Eddie, which we're just starting to figure out what exactly they're doing there and how they fit in. And our villains include Mojo Jojo, my personal favorite, Aku, Vilgax, and Mandark. So it's written by Miss Louise Simonson over there with art by Derek Charm, and it's a 6-issue miniseries, and what we're looking at here is a wonderful interconnecting 6-issue cover by Mr. Troy Little. And it started in June, so I think issue 2 is just being released right now, and I'm hoping you guys are checking this out. It's a whole lot of fun to try and get all of these crazy characters in one spot and operating in kind of this shared universe, but still maintaining their own personal flavor, if you will. And I'd like to ask Louise how she was able to do that.
Well, getting all the characters to speak like themselves and behave like themselves was, in a way, kind of a challenge, partly because I hadn't actually watched all the cartoons at the time, but I have now. I had the hardest time with Derek for some reason, didn't I, Sarah? You had to keep telling me how to do him right.
Dexter's a challenge, but I think when you grew up with Dexter, you've got him inside your brain, and you can kind of just go with it.
But they each have very distinct personalities. It's one of the really cool things about Cartoon Network is that all the characters are very much themselves, and you kind of know what they want and what they like. So in a way, when you put them together, it really isn't that hard to have them behave like themselves, since you after you watch a few of the cartoons, you really know who they are.
Yeah, thank you.
But
And-
maybe we should ask Derek. Derek, how do you make them actually look like the way they feel all the time? Because they all have all these different emotions and feel different ways.
Yeah, and that was like the challenge with this because they're all like completely different styles for the most part. And it's just trying to make them all work together in one image or in one series. So yeah, it's fun though. It's great.
And what we're looking at here is a cover by Derek, which is on the left. In the middle, there is a cover by Andy Suriano, who is our Samurai Jack artist, and I wish he could be here. And it was based on that cover on the right, which is a House of Secrets cover. And can you guys guess who that person on the House of Secrets cover is? It's Miss Louise Simonson was the model for that. And so we wanted to do kind of a little tribute to her. So we have the Powerpuff Girls kind of combing their hair in the mirror, just like Louise was. And instead of Swamp Thing behind her, we've got Vilgax and Aku. So that's just a little fun thing, a little Easter egg for you guys.
It was from a long, long time ago, when I really did have long golden hair.
So here's some more of the awesome covers that Derek are putting together. And then we've got some cool variant covers. Do you want to talk about those really quick, Carlos?
Oh yeah, we ended up working with just so many fun people on these covers. I mean, clearly, Derek's covers up there on the top kills it with everyone. But we also got people like Dan Schoening, who works on Ghostbusters. We got Erica Henderson, who did the Johnny Bravo one-shot. Sean Holloway, who I worked with on like a Samurai Jack cover. He killed it as well. It's just been really great to see like different artists' interpretation of these characters, and with the covers in particular, we can definitely just mess around with the styles a little more, and it's been really fun to see how different people approach all these familiar characters.
And it's extra fun because when you get to write someone like Erica or Sean and go, draw me Mojo Jojo, and they're like, absolutely. So here's some interiors for number 2, which is coming out, I think, this next week. I am tired and I cannot remember. So you see Derek is fabulous at capturing the crazy action that's going on, these awesome fight scenes, and one of my favorite things that he does is the way that he has Aku transforming in almost every panel into some sort of weird, beastly creature. And I know, Derek, you've been known to say you draw Aku first when you approach a page. Why is that?
Well, because he's mostly like, I don't use black lines on him because the TV show didn't, and it kind of makes him seem separate from everyone else. So it's like just like using colors to like make these like extreme faces that he always has or transformations. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite to draw.
Cool. So tying into these 6 issues are 5 one-shots, and we're doing this just because we want to get as many characters as we can into this wacky shared universe. So in July, we've got Johnny Bravo. August, we have Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. September, Cow and Chicken. October, Fosters. And November, Kids Next Door. Do you want to talk about these a little bit, Carlos?
Yeah, these one-shots were one of my favorite parts of the experience, just because we got to work with a lot more of the different cartoons that we couldn't necessarily integrate into the main crossover. Eric wrote the Johnny Bravo one, and I don't think I've laughed harder at a comic in quite a few years. It's really, really good, and Erica Henderson's art just fits Johnny's world perfectly. Then the Grim Adventures one is also really, really impressive. Kate wrote herself a great script. I wasn't as much of a fan of that TV show growing up, but just from reading the script, I immediately wanted to watch just more of that. The Foster's one was really impressive because Paulina's art would come in black and white, and it looked good. But as soon as she turned in the colors, like, it was a completely different book. It just looked so vibrant and amazing and really, really, really good. I can't wait for people to start checking that out. Cow and Chicken, I got to work with Jim Zub, who does Samurai Jack with me, so it was nice to see him try something a little more comedy-oriented. And then Codename Kids Next Door, another one that I hadn't really watched too much as a kid, but Scott Peterson's script really had me rolling on the floor by the end of it. It's been an awesome experience to work with all these people and with all these different properties. It just makes it feel so much bigger. The crossover already has so many characters, but being able to bring the crossover to all these other places just makes it feel like biggest thing we've ever done.
We're very lucky
I was gonna say,
that
are
we
we
get
just
to
gonna
play
ignore
with
that
this.
the Foster's and Cow and Chicken ones
Yep.
are reversed because
Don't-
it's really bothering me.
Don't look, pretend in your head it's switched. We're just going to go with it. Eric, I would like to ask you a question about Johnny Bravo.
Okay.
You're like the least Johnny Bravo person I've ever met in my life. How on earth did you write him so well?
Well, I know an awful lot of people like Johnny Bravo.
Oh,
That made it very interesting and very easy to, pull some attitudes. A couple of the lines in the book I actually overheard on nights out. I won't point out which. They're the silliest ones, basically, that I fit in there were real life.
that's kind of
think that
terrifying.
it's
but
scary
also
Did you put
anyway.
on a muscle suit and go hit on women and get some real life experience?
No comment. But no, it's just absurdity and bizarre situations with Johnny. He has no business going up against robots, which was a fun place to start, and then the rest was just peppering in confidence and idiocy.
And a squirrel.
And a squirrel. God, I love that squirrel.
I don't want to
He's
say
my
too much
favorite part
about
of the
that
book.
squirrel, but honestly, we loved him so much, we worked him into the regular book. I'll just say that.
Awesome.
Eventually, he'll get his own series, I'm sure.
I would be fine with that, personally. So here's Johnny Bravo. This is art by Erica Henderson. And as you can see, she kind of captures the wild colors and, of course, the hair. Very important to be able to capture in a Johnny Bravo. And this is next month's, which is Grim and Mandy. And I forgot that this cartoon is hilarious. So they've done a fantastic job of just kind of, there's slapstick humor. It's a little bit more sarcastic and dark than, say, Foster's. And this might be one of my favorite ones. Do you have anything to add on that, Carlos?
It was just a really, really great issue. Troy Little does some of his own lettering on this one, and you can really tell it really brings out certain emotions and things whenever he pulls that out. It was also just great to work with Kate, who I'd never worked with before, but she's just really fantastic, really, really funny. Her sense of humor fit this book just perfectly.
And Kate is now writing my Edward Scissorhands book, which is starting in October, and maybe a little bit older for some of the people in the room, but it's something to look forward to. And we are kind of sending it up in a middle reader, young adult way, so something to look forward to. Ooh, who's that?
Oh, this is Samurai Jack. I got to talk about it. So this is the cover from issue number 10, actually. We got written by Jim Zub, as always, and we got Andy Kuhn to come in and do some art. Andy Kuhn, Bobby here has used him for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's done a few things on his own. He's just a great, great artist. This one is basically a battle of the minds, literally, as Aku sneaks into Samurai Jack's head and tries to defeat him that way. But things don't necessarily go his way. He's definitely enjoying himself in this page here. But there's some twists and turns to the issue. It's a great little one shot.
Who's that I see over sitting with Louise? That looks like an Aku. Wind him up. I'm pretty jealous that Derek found this.
Best thing I
I
found all
really need this in my
I
life.
want one.
So now when you're drawing him, you can just like look to this for inspiration and draw him doing this.
So this is for issue number 11. Andy Soriano comes back for interiors, and this is the quest of the broken blade. Samurai Jack's sword breaks apart, and it's basically a quest to try and put it back together as Aku realizes that it's broken apart and tries to hunt him down and take him down once and for all. It was really, really awesome, not just to get Andy Soriano back, who is really like the heart and soul of this book. Without him, I don't think this book would be anywhere near as awesome as it's been so far. But it's also great to get covers from Gendy Tartakovsky, who created the TV show. That's his cover right there on the right, and we're going to have a set of 5 covers by him over the storyline. And the storyline is probably my favorite thing that Jim has ever written for me so far. He just keeps topping himself, and this one's real epic, really, really good, completely in the spirit of the TV show. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. We actually got some art pages, too, from Andy's Interiors. up. Yeah, so there's Jack fighting a giant scorpion, and then there's a huge temple as an eclipse is about to happen in the background, and Jack is carrying a guy Yoda style behind him.
That looks awesome.
Yeah. We also got Samurai Jack trade paperback collections for the first set of issues. The first trade paperback, which is Andy and Jim, that one's already out. You can find it in stores. And then Volume 2, which is more one-shot focused. It's got a bunch of different artists, some really great people. Brittany Williams, Ethan Beavers, Andy Kuhn, who I just talked about. That's going to be in stores in October. We got a great story with the Scotsman and Jack, where some evil leprechauns end up turning them into Samurai Jacqueline and the Scotswoman. That story is particularly funny and really, really great.
Oh, I see a pony.
Hey guys, I'm Bobby. I edit the books. I came a little late, so now you get to know who I am. It's exciting. First of all, I just want to thank, we're up to My Pony 23, and so that means we're almost at 24, which means 2 years of Pony that we've been doing. So I just want to thank everyone for supporting the books. Here we've got the cover for My Little Pony 23, which is a really fun standalone issue by Jeremy Whitley and Amy Meberson. And basically the story is something has happened to the ponies, they're missing, and so it's up to their pets to find out what's going on. It's an almost completely silent issue, but it's if you like the pets, then you're going to like this issue. And even if you don't, you're still going to like it because it's really funny.
This is one of my favorite things I've ever seen Bobby edit, and he showed me the pages. I may have freaked out a little bit, so definitely check this one out.
And then issue 24, that is also by Jeremy Whitley and Brenda Little, and I'm so happy that Brenda had a kid very recently, so she was out of the pony game for a while, but now she's back, and I'm so happy to have her. Discord takes Fluttershy and some of the Cutie Mark Crusaders on a crazy adventure through time and space, and if you know Discord, then you know that there'll be some serious hijinks going on, and this issue will not fail in that regard. And then issue 25, we've never talked about before, our 25th issue by Katie and Andy. Do you guys want to talk about what that story is going to be a little bit?
I hope you all like westerns, because now it is time for Applejack to shine as the main character of the main six, even though they will all be in it, and it is called The Good, the Bad, and the Ponies. And I love this arc so far. The first issue of this 2-issue arc is approved, and it is awesome. I love it. Love it.
And you can also check out Friends Forever number 8 by Katie and Andy, and that has some of the characters in that will be appearing in 25. So
Yeah,
keep an eye out.
It's a nice foreshadowing lead in to part 25, where we will be introducing some new villains.
Oh, hey, and perfect timing. Friends Forever number 8.
Yeah, it's Applejack and Rarity go on a road trip.
If any of the adults in the audience remember Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, remember that cover, that poster with John Candy and Steve Martin. You know, that's what this cover is, which I got a big kick out of because I love that movie.
And the issue is actually called Planes, Trains, and Carts on Wheels. So
And then we continue our Friends Forever series with number 9. And what's really fun about Friends Forever is you can do all sorts of crazy pairings. So in number 9, we've got Granny and the Flim Flam brothers. And how can they possibly be friends? You wouldn't think that, but what's great about these stories is that you can really find the hidden heart and connection between characters. And I think that's really important, is to have a lot of fun, have a funny story, but also get a lot of heart as well, something that warms you in those cold winter nights. So. And then we've got our annual, which is all about Power Ponies. And if you want to, you can actually pick up My Little Pony 21 here at our booth, and that has My Little Pony backup story featuring Maniac. And this is, if you're here at Comic-Con, you've probably seen some superheroes. Maybe you're familiar with the concept of superheroes. So this is where you come to get your superheroes, but as ponies. So it's a lot of fun. The villain, it's got Maniac, but then all new villains, which everyone likes villains, and it's a great place to to see what kind of new villains we're gonna get. We've got the phony pharaoh on the left there. Longface is kind of looming in the right there, so check them out. They're pretty cool.
This is my favorite kind of comic because it's like tied into the show. So it's like it's not a My Little Pony comic. It's a comic book that they would read in My Little Pony. So it's like my favorite thing. So
Very meta.
yeah, the humdrum that's in this comic isn't Spike as humdrum. It's the humdrum that you've never seen before. So like it's exciting.
I love Longface. That's kind of the shadow of the Dick Tracy villains
Yeah.
hanging around there.
Why the long face? It's funny. Hey.
And then we're also doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new animated adventures. Do we have any turtle fans in the audience? Yeah, the show is hilarious. I would be watching it even if I wasn't involved with the comic book. That's right.
He knows.
We're changing up styles in new animated adventures where we're starting to tell fun, like sort of main story, which gets your meaty drama, and then a fun backup story. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck in these new animated adventures. In this issue, number 14, Donatello creates a perfume that he thinks might, be interesting to April, get her attention that way. But it turns out the perfume just attracts insects. So that creates some romantic problems for Donatello in this issue.
And who did this art? I'm sorry, did I miss that?
This issue, the cover is by Dario Brizuela, who's been doing a lot of it, and he also did the interiors in that issue. And written by Landry Walker, who's doing lots of fun stuff. And then we've also got Fishface. Fishface is one of my favorite villains. He'll be appearing in number 15. Leonardo creates a special training obstacle course for his brothers, but then he's kidnapped by Fishface, and the course is altered in a more dangerous way. So that's probably the most danger the turtles have ever been in that book. So watch out.
Here we have Angry Birds. I think I see editor David Hedgecock in the audience. Would you like to come up real quick and talk about it? I think you should.
David.
So some of you have probably heard of Angry Birds. And we're lucky and fortunate enough to be able to be telling the adventures of the Angry Birds now. So we're going to get some of the personalities and learn about the different birds and learn why the pigs and the birds, why the birds are so angry and why those darn pigs are always getting blasted. We've got, I believe the 4th issue is coming out shortly, and we've got plans for all kinds of wacky adventures. They're self-contained stories. So you can pick up any one, and it's totally all ages appropriate. So for those parents who have their kids, when they hand the iPhone over for a few minutes of respite, now you can have 15 minutes of respite letting your children read some Angry Birds comics.
Don't go anywhere.
So we do have a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, art by John Samariva. That's the San Diego Comic-Con cover. You can only get it here. And it's the Angry Birds coming to the show.
Can you guys spot some characters that they're dressed up as? What do you see?
Yeah. Very good.
I think I see a Spock pig. Yeah? Spork, that's very good.
Yeah, so if you look closely at there's some of the other IDW properties that we make comics for. We paid a little homage to some of them. There's a little Transformer pig in there, a few others. And we decided to do some fun mashups this summer. So we got the Angry Birds into some different and interesting situations. Some of these will appeal to the adults in the audience a little more than the kids. But on the far left there, we've got Angry Birds mashed with Kiss. And then continuing on, we have Popeyes knocking out King Pig in that second one. In the third one, Mars attacks. The pigs get converted and Angry Birds are getting taken down. And then the last one, Dick Tracy shows up and Angry Birds decide to help him out on a mystery. And so one of our big announcements at the show is we had so much fun with that mashup. We were like, where else can we do this? And just so happens that in the middle of October of this year, Angry Birds got together with Hasbro and Transformers, and they are making a new game called Angry Birds Transformers, sort of in the style of the Angry Birds Star Wars, if you're familiar. So we said, well, we do Angry Birds and we do Transformers, so we should be doing that comic book. And so starting in November of this year, we have Angry Birds Transformers. And the Autobirds and the Deceptihogs are coming your way. We have a lot of fun with this book. So obviously we do the Transformers book, and what we're going to do is, if you look on the far right, that cover is by Livio Ramondelli, who is also one of the regular Transformers artists. So we have the regular Transformer artists doing some special covers for each issue of the book. And if you look at that cover, it also mocks the new Transformer 4 poster. So we're trying to bring it all in. Oh, and just killing right along. So one of the biggest video games and action figure lines of the last 2 years, in fact, it is the biggest video game and the biggest action toy line of the last 2 years, is Skylanders. And we are very, very excited about the opportunity to be telling stories in the Skylander universe. That's right, starting in October. That's right. We're very lucky to be doing this. You are making my day in a way that you don't even know. So
I think the sales are guaranteed.
It's gonna go well, man. It's gonna go great.
I think we got something. Yeah. So we're really lucky to be telling the tales of the Skylanders, and we're going to be doing it in hand in conjunction with Activision. So the stories that we're going to be telling are going to count in the actual video game as well. So as an example, right now we have Skylanders number 0. It's available at our booth. You're not going to be able to get it anywhere else, and it tells the story that leads into the video game that launches in October. So we're going to get to continue to do these kinds of things, and we're very lucky to have guys like David A. Rodriguez here, who is one of the lead game developers, writers. What would I call you? Story developers? Yes. David is the man when it comes to Skylanders. So if you like Skylanders, he's one of the reasons for it. David, stand up, please, so we can all just give you a little clap for all the amazing work you do. So David is one of the integral parts of the video game, and he's also one of the storytellers for the comic books as well. So we've got some really amazing, fun tie-ins. And we've got some great art by some really amazing artists for the book. I'm super excited about it. David Baldion did the cover here. This book cover is also available at our booth. It's the same story. And he'll be one of the interior artists for us as we move forward. And here's some more art for the project, introducing some of the new characters, actually. There's Wallop and Snapshot in the big panel there. And those are two of the new characters that you're going to get to be introduced to in the video game coming out in October. And some more fun art. This is the cover to the first issue that'll be out in October. Also, for you parents, if you don't have a comic book shop near you, one of the exciting things about Skylanders is that we're going to have nice little kind of kid-sized micro fun packs, is what we call them, and you'll be able to find those at all your GameStops or your Toys R Us, and so those stories will be able to be found in a different way, and it's going to come with fun little things like stickers and standees and posters. So it's a fun package, and it'll be the same price as what you would normally pay for a comic book. Speaking of micro fun packs, can I take that? Or that's for me.
So these are, like David was saying, these are just a different way to maybe get some people buying some comics that normally wouldn't buy them. You can always use comicshoplocator.com or just search Yelp for your closest comic book store. But these are a way that we can get these comics into places like Target and Walmart and Toys R Us and GameStop. And it's the same comics, but they are shrunk down. And they do come with fun things like my favorite, little tattoos and stickers and things like that. So this is a good way, maybe if you guys have some friends and they don't read comics, this is a great way to say like, hey, give comics a try, and then search out your local comic book shop or ask your parents to download Comixology with you, and you can also buy things digitally. So just another way to expose the world to comics. And there they are, all together.
I want to buy them all.
Yeah. So there's one that's open, and you can see this one comes with a cool poster and some stickers and a little tattoo. So we've come to the Q&A section of our day. But before we do that, I'd really like to hear about how you guys approach these characters that are already established. We already know them from TV, from the animated series, but something that I think that is unique is that you guys all bring something special to it, and you add something special to it. Like Derek, I can tell, even though he's on model, meaning he draws them as they're seen on TV, I can look at it and be like, yep, that's an awesome Derek Charm page. So I know it's a little bit nuanced, but can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think no matter what, your style is going to filter into what you're doing. And even like different, you could, if you like really watch the cartoons, different like directors, you could tell like slightly different styles to the way that they're drawn or like portrayed. So yeah, it's just like a slight thing, but it's fun, it's cool to like work that in.
One of the things that Derek does really, really well, aside from everything, is he draws how the characters feel. And one of the things that I do when I write a story is think about what the characters feel and what they need and what they want. And the Cartoon Network characters that we have actually have pretty strong agendas, and they know what they want. And they have their own little attitudes. Buttercup is always mad at something. She is grumpy. So that, when we see her, she's usually got this little frown on her face. I mean, Eric lets you know exactly what they feel at every single panel. Their emotions change from panel to panel as their thoughts change from panel to panel. And I think that and he does action so well, too. This is what I've done is a very active story with a lot of fight scenes and explosions and all that fun stuff. And Derek really puts the action into action, and it's just great.
Yeah, I feel like Derek said, a lot of yourself is just going to sneak in there without even trying. But I found in drawing My Little Pony, the more of me that I put into it, the more exciting and fun the pages are. And I had something else, but I can't even remember. It's very early. I mean, it's not early by normal people's standards, but for a comic book artist, this is like 4 in the morning, so it's very early.
I know for me, for writing My Little Pony, it's my oldest daughter is a big fan of My Little Pony, so I've seen every single episode about 60 times, which makes it really easy to go, well, how would this character react to this situation, and how would this happen? So for me, it's just knowing from being a fan how the characters would react to what situation I put them in, and I know that the characters tend to have like a little bit of a Katie twist to them. There's people like, well, you write Rainbow Dash differently than this writer. And it's like, yes, I do, because that person loves Rainbow Dash, where I make Rainbow Dash a little snarky and, things like that. Because my thing is like, Rainbow Dash would react to this situation kind of like your friend that's unintentionally a jerk. That's how I think of her. But no, that's kind of just mine is like, I fit my own little gags in there, and I think that's how they'd react. So I try and keep it in character, but it's that Katie-ness in it. And
Right.
what would make Andy mad?
Yes. Katie loves to come up with anything she can think of that would drive me nuts to draw, like two universes actually colliding into each other.
That's a description on a
Yes.
I don't have to draw it.
Yeah, I get hundreds of robots walking the door.
Yes.
Yeah, that happens.
I
That
think, like
happens.
they said before, we want the characters to come across as the characters the way everybody knows them. Rainbow kind of pompous and Fluttershy very soft-spoken and everything. I think we have a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes to doing a two-dimensional work because we don't have the voice actors to inflect the characters people know. So it's our job to use the artwork to emote and tell the mood. So I always like to push the envelope a little bit further and, bring out a little bit more of what everybody knows the character to be in their body poses and everything else like that. And I love doing the work because it's incredibly organic. You know, even the buildings in Ponyville are kind of wonky and leany, so I don't have to worry about rulers and cars and freeways and all
Hands.
that stuff and all those silly comics.
Not until
Hands.
the next issue.
Right.
Ponyville
So.
gets a Cloverleaf freeway. Have fun with that.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Okay, well, like they were saying, it's easier to write the stuff when you know the characters so well that whatever you come up to throw at them, you can guess how they'd react, and that makes it kind of fun. And if I don't know a character well enough to guess how some weird thing would make them react, I weave through the people writing bad screenplays at Starbucks. I sit in a corner and I watch cartoons for 12 hours. You guys weren't supposed to know that. When
Cover
I'm
your
supposed to be
ears,
writing
Bobby.
other things, I'm sorry. But yeah,
Just make sure they're not at the same.
yeah, I
Starbucks doing their-
exactly. I should have said earmuffs. But yeah, it's just it's fun to get them to react to things and play that out on the page and see how the characters will surprise you in the middle of writing a scene. I will come up with a joke or something that I didn't see coming, and then make myself laugh and look like an idiot in that same corner of the Starbucks.
Thanks, guys. I think something that I heard from all of you is that even though you do a lot of research and preparation to portray these characters accurately, it's the best when part of you comes through. So something for the kids out there when you're writing and drawing, it's great to write and draw these characters, you know, very faithfully, but also make sure that you're finding out how to express yourself through writing and art, because not only is that the most fun to do, but it's also the most fun to read and to look at. So that's a little tip from me to you, because I hope you guys are all burgeoning comic artists. Do you guys have any tips for burgeoning writers and artists out there?
For all the little artists, everybody that likes to grab a crayon and draw on the wall, or mom's dress or whatever. Everybody, all the parents always ask me, you know, what can we do to encourage them? Just keep them drawing. Draw all the time. Draw everything you see. You know, if you like drawing ponies, then draw ponies, but the more you draw, the better you're gonna get. So don't stop.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say too. Just draw all the time, like nonstop.
I was gonna
drawing.
say
That's like-
draw less, which is weird. I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
say that. I was
I'm like counterpoint.
So for the artists on the panel, how old were you when you knew that drawing was going to be your life?
I think it was probably a -2. It was before the womb. I've drawn all my life. You know, teachers in school just learned to ignore the drawings and the margins of the tests, and they knew to expect that from me. I actually originally set out to be a police officer. And then I decided, well, maybe I could be the guy in the police station that draws all the bad guys people describe. I don't think I had a choice. Comic book ink is in my blood. So,
Yeah, it's for me. I've never told, since kindergarten, I've always said I want to be a cartoonist for a living. So I don't have a plan B. So I really hope this works out for me.
Seems to be.
Because I got nothing else.
That's a heck of a motivator.
I have no other skill set.
How about you, Tony?
That was also my answer. Again, no, I've been drawing since I'm probably about 4 years old, and I never really stopped. I didn't have any other aspirations. I didn't aspire for anything greater than being an artist, really. So that's luckily this is where I landed up, because otherwise I'd really be a useless person. Like I have no other use. I could lift things. I can lift things for people.
You can work at Best Buy.
Yeah, I could totally work at Best Buy. I don't think I could be a mover, but in short spurts I can lift things, put them places.
We've just discovered Plan B.
well, they're going to put you to work in the warehouse moving comics.
IDW.
So we're going to
Yep,
combine it.
move out to San Diego.
Yeah.
And Derek, how about you?
Same, like forever since I was a little kid. I used to watch the '60s Batman TV show and make little comic books of it as I was watching it, and they were all just crayon pictures. But I remember doing that.
Yeah.
Been a
And
lot.
how about for the writers? How did you know that this was going to be your path and the thing that you had to do?
Because drawing takes a really long time. A really, really long time. And writing does not.
Oh, yes, it does.
Not as long as drawing. Comparatively. And you know, a path of least resistance.
Yeah, fun fact, the first full issue of a comic book I wrote was Fraggle Rock, and I wrote one issue of it. The second full issue of a comic book I wrote was My Little Pony #1. So I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, you
clearly
do.
This
it's-
conversation. But you can jump from being a cartoonist to writing. Yeah, you can do it. But no, it's been super fun.
That
being
sound
a
you just
writer.
heard was a million brony message boards exploding.
Going, no wonder she's terrible.
I told you.
Amateur.
That explains everything.
And Louise, how about you?
Gosh, you know, I always wanted to be a writer, but I thought that writers were these great gods that were on high, and I would never, ever, ever be able to do that. I didn't even know how to begin. I turned. I'll tell you the best story. This is, I guess, when maybe was when I was totally bitten. You know, everybody has to do these book reports, right? I'd read the book and do the report. Okay, so like everybody else, I would kind of like, you know, copy off kind of the. Even though I would read the book, I swear, I would copy off the. I guess the paragraphs from the blurbs from the, and I would change the words so that instead of being really smart words, they would be dumb words, like I thought that they would think a kid would write. but then I read, as one of my book reports, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and there wasn't a jacket on that book, and I had to write the book report myself with my own words. And the teacher accused me of copying it off the book jacket. So he said, gee, well, gosh, if what I write is as good as the book jackets, maybe I'll write stuff. Now, honestly, this may have been a ploy of the teacher who was fully aware of what I was doing and thought she would encourage me in this way by accusing me of cheating. But in actual fact, it was very inspirational. And that was it. I think I was hooked at that point.
And Louise went on to a great career of writing the blurbs on.
I did. I guess the first comic book I wrote was a comic book called Power Pack, which was with little kids who were superheroes. So that was the end.
I think something that these very humble, wonderful writers and artists are not saying is how much it is also hard work, even it is so it's something that they're driven to do and they love to do it. It is a job. So much like doing your homework is something that you have to do and it's kind of drudgery. It's something that you have to do every day consistently. It's fun and it's rewarding, but it's also hard work, and the hard work pays off. Is I guess what I'm saying.
And you should write your own book reports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do what Louise did.
Yeah.
So I'd like to open it up to questions and answers, and definitely line up behind the mic.